Okay, just doing a little video about the Cavaliers, and things are not looking good for us, in my opinion. Free agency, pretty much everything that could have gone bad didn't go bad. There was talk we could get Jimmy Butler, didn't happen. Talk we could get Paul George, didn't happen. Now we have Gordon Hayward going to the Celtics, on top of all that. So, I mean, the best thing you could have said prior was, well, at least the East was weak. And yeah, the Skip Baylesses, the LeBron haters like Bayless would have overblown it because, yeah, Paul George went to the West. Yeah, Jimmy Butler went to the West. But the funny thing is those guys were in the East last year. And did they really give us problems? Did we have huge problems with the Indiana Pacers with Paul George? Did we have huge problems with the Chicago Bulls with Jimmy Butler? So it's a little overblown in that respect. But still, still good, and so things were a little positive on that aspect. And then until you could say that the Celtics didn't get anybody, but the team that you could say the East got a lot weaker. But the team that ultimately gave us is our biggest threat in the East is Boston, and it's not Indiana, it's not Chicago, and they only got stronger. This Hayward move kind of clinched it. Are they good enough to beat us? I would say that if you're just thinking, oh, Cleveland's going to steamroll again because that's what happened in the past, and you got another thing coming. I've always cautioned against that. I cautioned against that this last playoffs. It ended up happening. We swept everybody in the East. But the year before, we had trouble with some teams, and the biggest misconception I think is just that the Cavs are just going to steamroll the East the last couple of years. It's very difficult to do no matter what, like I said, the Skip Baylesses of the world think. And one of these years we're going to trip up. Just by chance, you go through 3 rounds, somebody is going to get hot and beat you one of these years. And yeah, I mean, just in general, it's just another negative time for the Cavs right now. And I'll put it back to Ty Lue. I still say Ty Lue is just a bad coach. And that's what's causing so much problems right now. We barely won, 53 games last year, something like that. We were the 2 seed. And towards the end of the season, we went 500 over an extended stretch. We were in disarray. There's no other way to put it. We were in disarray. We came back and we blitzed through the East in the playoffs. But that, and then we got blitzed by Golden State. But, I mean, to me, things are not looking good in Cavs land. I think most of it comes back to Ty Lue. He's not a good coach. He's not getting the best out of this talent. We re-signed the shooter from Atlanta, Kyle Korver. That's good, I guess. I don't think Ty Lue knows how to use him anyway. He doesn't know how to use anybody. So, we're not going to get the most out of him. But he's old. He's not what he used to be. But it's better than not signing him, I suppose. I was looking, there was news that we were looking to trade Shumpert's contract. If we could do something like that, it'd be great. But good. It hasn't happened. That's the thing that's kind of getting on my nerves right now. Is we keep, there was talk we were involved for Jimmy Butler, nothing happened. There was talk we were involved for Paul George, nothing happened. It's like we keep getting stymied in every direction. I mean, long story short, I don't think it's looking good. I think it's just as could we go exceed expectations like crazy and win the title next year? Yes. But the preponderance of the evidence, so to speak, is not on that right now. I think it's just as likely we're going to take a major fall concurrent with, going 500 over the last half of the regular season last year. We might win 45 games this year, have the usual excuses. Oh, well, they'll turn on the playoffs, And this might be the year we don't. Boston, they're scared. The whole difference between Boston and us is they've got a good coach. We've got garbage, So, yeah. And now they've got Hayward, and they've still got all their assets, and they added Jason Tatum, and, they're just getting better. The main thing is they've got a good coach, and we don't. We've got garbage for a coach. Ty Lue is not worth a crap. That's LeBron's fault because he installed Ty Lue, but... And now LeBron's talking about leaving. Well, that's great. You destroyed a franchise by handpicking and installing a garbage coach, and now you're going to split. If I was Cleveland, I wouldn't be thrilled. Now he did get him a title that they never would have got but otherwise. So there's that. But so yeah, that's just my stance on all this. It's not a good off season. If we can trade Shumpert somehow, get something going there, get some cap space or something, okay, I'll revisit it. But so far, whiffing on George, whiffing on Butler. Hey, we're going to the Celtics now. It's not good. If there isn't a second silver lining, I guess, I think that Golden State's road will be that much tougher. That ticks me off about Golden State. They re-signed everybody, Iguodala even. They didn't lose anybody, and freaking Durant helped them out by taking less, And that kind of annoys me because it's people just conspiring against Cleveland, Kevin Durant's conspiring against Cleveland, helping them sign everybody by taking $9 million less money, Seems like everybody on Golden State just wants to keep it together. But when it's a LeBron team, everybody wants a max contract or whatever, So that angers me. I will say if there's one maybe silver lining, it's that the West to me gets a lot more competitive. I think Oklahoma City could in theory give Golden State a little run. You never know with Paul George now. The Rockets obviously got a lot stronger. They could be a little bit of a threat. I think the big losers besides Cleveland was probably the Spurs. They didn't do anything. So, and everybody else in the West got way stronger. Minnesota is going to be strong out of the West now, They didn't come through last year, but this is a new year, and it wouldn't shock me to see them win 50-plus games. They're going to be a handful. So if there's one positive, it could be that Golden State could get knocked off in the West. At least there's, instead of maybe a 5% chance before, maybe there's a 10% chance now or something. And if that happens, it sounds stupid and paradoxical to say that, if a team beats Golden State, they should be, in theory, better than Golden State, so we should have less. But somehow, I just feel like the Cavs have a lot better chance against anybody else but Golden State. I just do. They're the team that scares me so much because of their shooting and everything. They just have this aura about them, I guess, nowadays. So, if, let's say, Oklahoma City gets hot and knocks off Golden State, or Houston gets hot and knocks off Golden State, I would feel like we'd have, or San Antonio, anybody, I would feel like we would have I would just feel like we had mountains better chance to beat whoever knocked off Golden State than Golden State. I'd put us even money or 60% favorites probably, depending on seeing how we do next regular season, obviously, because that's the big question to me. I think next year could very well be a cratering year for us, Seeing how we closed out the regular season last year, I think the players are feeling the lack of leadership from Lou. It's the inmates from the asylum situation, and those just always kind of spiral out of control. The team just is in disarray. And so, to me, how are we going to get through the regular season next year? Are we going to be able to even win 45 games, It sure didn't look like it the way we were playing last year. We didn't have anybody, our team is still bad, so I don't know what LeBron's plan is, but I don't blame him for trying to leave. If, we have a debacle season, as I'm kind of expecting, or I think there's about a 50-50 shot of anyway. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.